My name is Sonia Pinto. Apart, and I just, it's very different. Growing up, I have moved around from like Machakos, Kajiado, to Malindi, and now we finally settled in Nairobi. I'm the firstborn and I have a small brother. My childhood was very different. It was very up and down, so I got to build my character and just be the person that I am today. Primary school, I was in Loreto Convent Valley Road from class 1 to class 8. After that, I went to Brayside High School, and then I went to USIU, but I am a college dropout. In USIU, I studied journalism with my minor being in marketing. So I decided to pull back because my mom had a problem with paying tuition. So I decided, since I can make money out here, let me just drop out kidogo. I was supposed to go on a break, and I'm still on that break. I got out here, I started making money. I've not needed my degree this far, but I do have the intention to go back and just finish. What type of kid was I? I was very, what would I say? I was very shy. I was very timid. I wasn't really outspoken, but I did like to read books. I did like to get to meet new people. I'd say that I was very also determined. When you'd give me a task to do, I'd always make sure that I've done it. So for me, the transition from 844 system to a British system was quite hard, because in 844, I remember we had 8 subjects, then the whole transition, and I started doing 14 subjects, was quite crazy. So there was a bit of a, I wouldn't say culture shock, but a bit of a culture shock, because also the people there were very different, the teachers were very different. But I did enjoy it, because then is when I actually got to become outspoken. Some of the activities that I did in high school that boosted my personality was, I was in the music club, the choir. And I remember my music teacher gave me a solo song, and I had to perform this at a Christmas concert in front of 500 people. So it was insane, because I never pictured myself singing to a massive crowd. So I know from that point was when I got to gain courage, I got to come out, and yeah. My journey, especially in self-discovery and identity, has been a journey just like I can imagine even for you watching. So when I moved from 844 into the British system and then now into USIU, my university, and I had to pick what I wanted to do, I feel like the whole journey, and I mean with everybody's journey, it's different. So I feel like just being able to transition and to meet new people and to integrate with, a dynamic, diverse group of people, then it sort of just changes you, and you're able to sort of know who I am. You also get to know what you like, what you don't like. So yeah, that's how I was just able to decipher myself from everybody else, build myself, know who I am, especially in this industry. As a kid, I always wanted to be a doctor, but then me and math, we were not mathing. So honestly, that dream kind of went down in class 6. I don't know, class 6 onwards, me and math, when they introduced letters and not numbers, that's when people lost me. And I was told, if you're not good at math, then you can't do, you can't become a doctor. And that really changed my whole perspective. So now when I was in high school, there's a lady who approached me on Facebook, and they were doing a magazine, and she was like, oh, I really like how you pose, you could be a good model. So I went for my first gig when I was 16. I got my first paycheck. I got 6,000 shillings and I never looked back. I was like, I can make money just by posing, you know? So I feel like that's where my journey with modeling started, and from then on, it's just been uphill from there. I'm an entrepreneur for one. I sell a product called CMOS. Now, if you do not know about CMOS, it has 92 minerals out of the 102 that your body needs. Now, I am very much in tune with what goes into my body, so yeah, that's the product that I sell. I'm a model. I've been modeling for 11 years now. I've been in this industry for a very long time, and I still pursue it from day to day. So I have been a model for 11 years. Now, I'm a commercial model. And what that entails is a lot of product branding, modeling that I do, for also social media, and I've gotten the pleasure of working with different brands and doing a couple of adverts. The type of content that I usually create on all my social media platforms are fitness. I'm very much into healthy living and fitness. I also do fashion, product placement content, and I'd like to say that I'm all-rounded a creative. So when you go to my page, it's a mixture of all me, like all what I like to do and what I represent. What do I like doing most? I feel like modeling comes more easy to me, but I'm actually trying to venture into more business-oriented work. So I find myself doing a lot of everything, which I know I'm not supposed to do, but I would say what strikes out to me and what is natural is modeling. It will be 11 years in May. So I've been in this industry for quite some time. And being in the industry, I also got to venture into other things. So I tried acting. At some point, I tried content creation, which is what I still do. Right now, I'm also trying to, start my YouTube channel. So I'm venturing into vlogging, and fitness has always also been there. So I consider myself a jack of many trades, but I feel like I want to be able to make money in all these different, multiple streams of income, guys. That's the way to go. And for me, it's been easy because what I pick and what I like, I just run with it and I create with it, and I'm just like, okay, I can create opportunity for other people. I've been raised by a single mother, shout out to my mom, and now with her reaction to what I do, she's very supportive. I can say that even when I'm doing my lingerie shoots, she's always like, okay, it's a bit too much, but as long as you're happy. And I honestly love that she's been able to support me this far, and she understands my hustle. I have had a couple of mistakes. Nobody's perfect. I remember when I started out, I did not know that before you work with somebody, you're supposed to be on a contract basis. So I was so, ignorant, and I'd pay no mind when people used to tell me, no, you have to really, really just think about who you're working with, what brand, because unaweza chezwa. So that's exactly what ended up happening. There have been instances where I've done the work, and they've not paid me. And you can imagine, you're seeing your picture out there, people don't know, bado haujalipwa, you're just over here, you're seeing your work, people are seeing the end product, but yeah, so it was just being ignorant and not paying mind to what other people had to tell me, because I thought I was a know-it-all. One thing that people do not know about Sonia is that she writes poetry. I like to journal, so I did start to learn how to put my feelings into a book, and yeah, I've been writing poetry and music, which is so interesting, and yeah, I'm loving the whole creative process of it all. I have my sweet potato fries, look at that. Favorite food, I love Mama's githeri. For sure, yeah, Mama's githeri. I actually do also love ugali, I love my chapatis, I love pilau. I do love Kenyan food. I feel like it's very wholesome, and yeah. Look at that, like, wow. A couple of highlights you guys probably did not know about me, and some of the brands that I have managed to work with are Jamieson, Home 254, Radio 254, which I'm currently working. So you know what? I'm sure you do want to stay tuned and hear what I have to say. We are back from the break and welcome to A Millennial on the Move. It's your girl Sonia Pinto, and I'm here to tell you guys about some of the highlights that I have managed and the big brands that I've managed to work with. Actually, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be on a billboard, and I remember I used to tell my mom, one day I'll be on a billboard, one day. So these 2 years back, I remember I auditioned for a couple of things and nothing was coming to pass. So I remember I got a call and somebody was like, oh my God, you've been picked. And then another company also hit me up. So I was on 2 different billboards for 2 different companies at the same time, which was just God deciding to bless me. And yeah, I could say those were like my biggest highlights so far. There was more recognition. A lot of brands now, I believe, respected what I did. And, you know, there are people who are like, oh my God, Sonia's been hustling for this much. And look at her on the billboard, you know. So there was a lot of brand recognition. I could say that a lot of people also started looking up to me. I got a lot of questions like, oh my God, how did you do this? So even me being in a position to give advice was, you know, amazing.
Ile love niko nayo for you. Manzi nakuaga tu nimekurank mbaya.
What do you mean umenirang?
Akaniangalia na macho zingine hadi mimi nikatulia juu. We?
My acting debut. Now the first time I actually got into acting was Machachari. And there was an episode that I, you know, had a minor role, but it was interesting being in that set because then I got to see what it really is to act. You know, when people just see the end product, they don't know how much time, work, dedication actually takes into acting. So I'd actually just like to give props to anybody who's in that industry. And shortly after that, I did Anti-Boss. So for me with acting, I don't know, it's tedious. It's a lot of work. I do enjoy it. I wouldn't consider myself an actress, but you know, for the sake of it, I have done like a couple of things here and there. A couple of opportunities I probably have missed and I would have loved to do was TV hosting. I got a couple of requests here and there. I've gone to audition. Never gotten it yet. I would love to though. Biggest lessons I have learned in my journey is to remain humble. You know, when you guys come on set, you don't know what baggage anybody else is carrying before they actually came to work. So I know that being humble and just respecting what this other person does is quite key in this industry. I find like a lot of people are harsh, and so I feel like if we're humble and we're all determined and we're all dedicated and we respect each other in the industry, then yeah. A quote that inspires me or a mantra or motto that I live by is, every day is a new day to actually try. Sometimes it's hard, you know, when you wake up and you're tired and you're feeling so demotivated. For me, I feel like every day is a new chance to just be better. People I used to look up to, Julie Gishuru, for some weird reason. I just really love how she embodies herself, also like in the limelight. I would say Tyra Banks, because that's where I got how to learn how to model. I used to go watch like tips. A man that I'm looking for, first off, I'm going to quote Riri on this, I'm not looking for any man. I usually pray to God, and I always tell God that, you know my heart best, so just guide me to the right man for me. Lowest moment in my career. Now, I've never really had a low moment, but I'd say my lowest moments are when I've actually gone and I've auditioned, I've put my heart out into something, and I do not get picked for the said role, or like just being able to work with a company that I've been wanting to. So I'd say that, yeah, if I'm not getting picked, then I'm gonna be sad, but you know, we always get over it at the end of the day. What do I do to stay on top of what I do? I would say I do my research a lot. I'm a well-versed person when it comes to tech, so I'm always trying to learn what's new, what's trending, because there's a lot of things that are always changing day to day. So I'd say that also I learn from a lot of other people, and I also learn from their mistakes. So that's how I kind of get ahead. And also just having a balanced life. I feel like balance is key in everything. So I party hard, but I also work hard. So there's a balance so that I'm not depressed when I'm working too hard, and I'm not going overboard when I'm having fun. The problem I think the millennials have right now, especially with this day and age, is I feel like they don't believe in themselves. I feel like a lot of the millennials that I've spoken to really go by what society deems as perfect or normal. So they don't really believe that they have a chance, because, I don't know, there are very many millennials that I've spoken to that are depressed, and you know, they're always second guessing themselves, they're always doubting their craft, or it's always like, oh, I can't do this because, oh my God, people will judge me and this. So what I always tell millennials is do what you want in your line of work to your best ability. My dreams in the next 5 to 10 years is to build an empire. I want to be able to help the youth who are doing my line of work. So I want to be able to start a sort of an agency, and also just be able to help other creatives and like-minded people in the industry, and also just be able to guide them, because I feel like we don't have a lot of people who are guiding, you know, the youth right now. I work out daily. Now, apart from the physical attributes, it really does well for my mental space. So anytime I'm able to have my morning routine, which is go to the gym, I have a gratitude list that I follow by. So I'm always thinking positive, and I feel like if I'm able to just have good self-talk and I'm able to incorporate like good habits, then I'm also able to just go into this industry with a new, fresh set mind and goals. So I feel like it's just being able to position myself and just to be able to just continue with the habits that I do, that I feel like after that pressure that I've, you know, released, and I'm able to like self-talk and do all these things, and it just becomes better and easier. So how can people deal with the inferiority complex? Being different is what sets you apart. So I feel like if you're able to know that this is your niche, then you can build on that. And I feel like what sets you apart and why you're different is how you'll thrive. You know, so if you feel like you're inadequate, maybe because I look a certain way, or you know, I'm a certain color, that's you, you know, and you cannot change you. You know, what makes you you and will make you stand out and will make you feel adequate enough is also self-love. I feel like a lot of people do not love themselves, and they do not, you know, give themselves that, you know, tap on the back, which is very much needed. How has social media impacted my career? Now, if it wasn't for social media, I would have not figured out that I could have been a model, because like I said before, I was scouted on Facebook. Social media now can be used for good and for bad, and it's upon you to choose what you're going to use it for. For me, it's a platform where me as an all-rounded creative can go and show, and it's just like a, you know, my proposal, you know, just putting in what I do and having like my portfolio and just building it. So I feel like it's how you use social media that can really do you good and can really boost your brand. weirdest moment that I've had and I've experienced is, you know, when you're randomly walking in town and somebody says Sonia Pinto, and it wasn't just anybody, it was Amakanga. So for me, I did not know that, you know, people actually knew of me. So I'd say it's usually weird when somebody's like, oh my God, I know you. Or there's a time I went to Lamu and a beach boy knew me and I was like, what? And he's like, you're Sonia Pinto. And I'm like, how? All the way here, you know? My social media platforms are at Sonia Pinto. Everywhere. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's TikTok as well. LinkedIn, you know, if you want to talk business, we can also talk business there. My parting words would be to never stop being you. Always continue. Persistency is key. Consistency is key as well. Believe in yourself, and through that, anything and everything is possible. What inspired my style? So I try to keep it classy and edgy and sassy and a bit colorful. I like bright colors, so yeah.